If money has felt like a fight from the moment you wake up until you close your eyes, let today be the last day you swing at the air. You have been trained to believe that more hours, more pressure, and more worry will finally push the wall down. You were told that if you grind hard enough, the door will open. But a locked door does not care how long you knock. It opens to the right key. Money works the same way. It does not answer panic. It does not answer a tired heart. It answers law, and law answers a voice. That is why some people seem calm while provision keeps finding them. They are not luckier. They are lawful. They speak like people who carry keys. I am not here to make you feel better for a few minutes. I am here to show you how to stop wrestling with money for the rest of your life. I will say it plainly so even a child could repeat it back. Money is not your boss. It is a tool that listens, and tools do not move until they hear a clear instruction. That instruction is not a wish, not a fear, not a complaint. It is a sentence spoken with authority. When your words agree with divine law, the tool begins to work for you instead of against you. When your words argue with law, the tool lies there like a stone. Let us fix the first mistake most people make. They talk about money as if money is a wild animal that must be chased, trapped, and tamed. They say, "Money makes me nervous," or "money never stays," or "I can't afford that." They think these are small, honest comments. They are not small. They are orders. Every sentence is a seed. Your life is the garden. If you plant the sentence of fear, you harvest a field of fear. If you plant the sentence of law, you harvest order. Your moods are not the seed. Your voice is the seed. Your word is your wand. Here is the promise of this entire message, and I want you to hear it with a steady heart. There is one sentence that ends the fight with money. Not next month. Not after you read 10 more books. Not after you find a better boss or a kinder economy. It ends when you speak the sentence and stand by it as law. If you have ever wondered, what do I say when I feel pressure? What do I say when the bill arrives? What do I say when I'm afraid I will fall behind again? This is your answer. Before I give you the sentence, I want you to understand why a sentence matters. Creation moves by word. The world you see came into form through speech. If the Maker used words to shape matter, why would you try to build your life without them? You can hold many beliefs in silence and still see little change. But the moment belief becomes speech, belief becomes instruction. Instruction tells the unseen what to do. That is why quiet hope can comfort you, but it cannot command your day. Spoken truth can. Now breathe and prepare to speak, because I am not interested in you admiring this idea. I am interested in you using it. Here is the sentence that ends, "Struggle with money," when it is spoken as law. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Say it once, calmly. Say it again, not louder, but clearer. One more time, and this time allow your shoulders to drop as you say, "Go free," because freedom has a sound. You have just done more for your financial future in 30 seconds than fear did for you in 30 years. Let me keep this simple. I cast this burden means you stop wearing money like a heavy backpack. You do not walk around with the weight of every bill, every deadline, every memory of shortage pinned to your chest. You take the weight off and hand it to the only place that knows how to dissolve it. The Christ within, the divine mind in you that knows the route, opens the channels and corrects the timing. This is not a history lesson, it is a living law. The inner presence does the heavy work. Your job is to speak the lawful release and then step into the lane marked receive. That is the meaning of I go free. Free to pick up ideas, free to recognize the right person, free to move without the tightness in your stomach that used to choke your decisions. Unlimited supply does not mean you will grab everything you see. It means you will never be cut off from channels that match your purpose, your timing, and your next right step. If you are 10 years old, picture this. You are carrying 2 big buckets of water up a hill. Your arms shake. The water sloshes out. A strong friend walks beside you and says, "Let me carry them." You keep clutching the buckets because you think being strong means doing everything alone. That is how most people treat money. They keep carrying the buckets, spilling peace every step of the way. Casting the burden is the moment you hand the buckets to the strong friend and walk beside him. You are not quitting. You are cooperating with greater strength. That is law. I can hear the question rise, and it is a good one. Isn't this just positive talk? This is not an empty pep talk. This is spiritual mechanics. You are making a legal exchange. Fear out, truth in, tension out, flow in. The law of non-resistance says you cannot pull on money like a rope and at the same time expect it to arrive with ease. If your hands are clenched, nothing can be placed in them. When you speak, "I cast this burden," and "I go free," you open your hands. You release the tight, scared pull. Your inner system unclenches. Your decisions become clean. Clean decisions bring clean channels. Let us correct a second mistake. People try to think their way into peace while their mouth keeps rehearsing panic. They read about abundance, they highlight lines, they nod during the video, and then they pick up the phone and say, "I'm always short at the end of the month." Silence cannot outrun a sentence. The tongue sets the weather of the day. If the forecast from your mouth is storm, do not be surprised. When the clouds gather, change the forecast. Speak the new climate. Speak it before you feel it. Feelings follow instruction. So when do I say the sentence? Anytime your body would normally tighten, before you open your banking app, before you pay a bill, when you step into a store, when you tap your card, when you remember a deadline, when a surprise fee appears. At each point of contact, give law a voice. Do not explain your fear, issue your release. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. If someone asks what you are doing, tell them, I am speaking the key before I touch the lock. I also want to protect you from a trap that steals results. Do not treat this sentence like a magic phrase you repeat with crossed fingers. Law is not impressed by superstition. Law moves with alignment. Alignment is tone, posture, and expectation. Speak like a witness, not a beggar. Speak like a person who knows where the help lives, inside. If your voice shakes at first, that is fine. Courage is not the absence of a shake. It is speaking while you shake. The more you speak, the steadier you will become. And the steadier you become, the faster channels appear. Channels are not always giant checks. Sometimes the first channel is a calm mind that lets you see an option you missed when you were scared. Let me give you an easy picture to carry with you. Imagine your life is a house and your words are the light switch. The power is already in the walls. You do not have to build a power plant every night. You touch the switch and the room responds. When you say, I cast this burden and I go free, you are flipping the switch from strain to supply. The power was there. Your sentence allowed it to flow into the room you are standing in now. Christ within may sound big to a child, so let me explain it like this. Inside you, there is a wise guide from God, like the best teacher and the best parent combined. This guide knows where your good is and how to bring it to you without you hurting yourself to get it. When you give the heavy problem to that inner guide and stop clutching it, the guide can work. That is why we say within. We are not sending your burden to a far place. We are handing it to the wisdom already planted in you by your maker. What happens if you say the sentence and the numbers do not change by tonight? You do not pull the seed from the soil to check the roots. You keep watering in a rhythm. Rhythm is how you speak. Rhythm is when you speak. Rhythm is the choice to speak truth every time fear knocks, not just once when you feel brave. Consistency is not punishment. Consistency is how you teach your inner world to trust you. A child learns the rules of a home by the rhythms of that home. Your mind learns the rules of supply by the rhythm of your mouth. Let's make this practical right now. Close your eyes for a breath. Picture your next hard moment with money, the bill, the message, the calculation, the checkout line. Now picture yourself saying the sentence first, not after a spiral, not after you text 3 people, not after you look at the balance 10 times. First, hear your voice. Feel the small but real shift in your chest. That shift is not the money arriving. That shift is the gate opening so the money can find you without tripping over your fear. Some of you will want to change the words. Do not change them yet. Use them as given for 7 days so your mind can build a strong groove. Later, we can show you equivalent phrases that carry the same law. But for now, be simple. Children learn by simple, steady lines. You will too. The shortest path to peace is a clear sentence repeated with clean intent. Now I will answer the quiet objections that like to hide in the corners. If it were this easy, everyone would be rich. It is easy to say. It is not always easy to keep saying, especially when old habits shout back. Most people never stay long enough with a clean sentence to let it rebuild their inner house. They speak it once and then run to explain why it probably won't work for them. The sentence works like a key. If you throw the key after the first try, do not blame the door for staying shut. What if I need to take action? Of course you will take action, but action taken from fear looks like running in circles. Action taken after casting the burden looks like one right step at a time. The sentence does not replace action. It replaces panic so action can be wise. Here's another simple picture for a 10-year-old. When you are tying your shoes and the laces are in a knot, you can yank and yank until the knot gets tighter, or you can stop, breathe, loosen the knot the right way, and then tie them quickly. The sentence is the pause that loosens the knot. After that, tying is easy. Money knots are the same. Pulling harder is not the answer. Loosening the fear is. I want you to mark 3 moments today where you will speak the sentence no matter how you feel. Moment 1. As soon as you wake up before your feet touch the floor. Moment 2. Before you check anything with numbers, messages, email, banking, bills. Moment 3. When you are about to pay for something, even something small, you will be tempted to forget. Set a reminder if you must. Put a small dot on your hand. Place a sticky note near your screen. Make it easy to remember, because every remembered sentence becomes a brick, and bricks become walls, and walls become a home where peace lives. If you need permission to be bold, take it from me now. You do not have to earn peace with money. You receive it by law. The law is not a person who changes moods. Law is structure. Speak into the structure and watch how it holds you. Do not wait to become perfect. Do not wait until you feel holy. Do not wait until you deserve it. You are not buying anything. You are agreeing with what heaven already decided about you. That supply is your right order when you stand in truth. Let this be your first inner contract today. I refuse to rehearse lack. I refuse to make fear my script. I will not use my mouth to build the very prison I am trying to leave. When the old phrases try to climb back, it's never enough. I always mess this up. I can't handle this. Interrupt them like you would interrupt a lie in a child's mouth. Not with anger, with clarity. Replace them with the sentence, over and over, without drama. Calm beats loud. Law beats fear. You are closer than you think. You do not need a brand new life to start. You need a brand new sentence on your lips and the courage to stay with it when the first test comes. Tests will come. They are not punishments. They are chances to prove to yourself that you will use your key even in the dark. When you do, the dark does not last. Order arrives. Ideas arrive. Calls arrive. And sometimes the first thing that arrives is sleep. The kind of sleep you forgot you could have when money stopped shouting in your ear. We will go deeper next. How this sentence replaces fear with truth inside the mind, why Scripture backs this exchange, and how a 7-day rhythm locks it in. For now, keep it simple and keep it spoken. Tell the truth out loud even if your hands shake. Speak like a person who carries keys. You do. Say it with me one final time before we move on. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. We are going to move from knowing the key exists to turning it in the lock. The simplest way to understand this law is with your own hands. You cannot hold two different objects in one hand at the same time. If you grip a stone, you cannot grip a pencil with that same hand until you let the stone go. Your mind works the same way. You cannot hold fear and truth in the same mental hand. One must replace the other. That is the law of substitution. It is not a pretty idea, it is a working rule. When fear sits in the mind, truth cannot sit there with it. When truth takes the seat, fear must stand up and leave. Substitution is the switch. Say it plainly so even a child can repeat it. Fear in, truth out, truth in, fear out. The sentence you learned in part 1 is the mover. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. That sentence is not a wish. It is the act of taking the stone out of your hand and picking up the pencil. It is a transfer. You are laying down weight and picking up freedom. You are handing the tangle to the wise one inside and accepting the clear road back. When you do this once, you feel a small release. When you do this often, you build a new way of being. Think of your mind as a radio. When the dial sits on Fear FM, the whole room fills with bad news. If you try to sing a happy song while the radio still screams, the noise wins. You must turn the dial. Substitution is the dial turn. You do not fight the static, you replace the station. Or think of a glass of muddy water. You can stare at the mud all day and wish it were clear. Or you can hold the glass under a running tap and let the clean water push the muddy water out. That is substitution. The sentence is your tap. You keep the water running, calmly, steadily, and the glass becomes clear because the new keeps replacing the old. Florence Scovel Shinn taught this long before we learned the language of neural grooves and rewiring. She called it law. Scripture backed her. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. Psalm 55:22. That is substitution. You put the heavy thing where it belongs, and you receive being held. Casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. 1 Peter 5:7. That is substitution. Care out, care taken. My God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:19. That is substitution. Need is not met by worry. Need is met by supply through the inner Christ when the burden is handed over. And when the fear tries to argue that words do nothing, remember the legal pattern. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee. Job 22:28. A decree is not a daydream. A decree is a spoken order that builds a structure. Here is where people get stuck. They try to carry the old and the new at once. They say the sentence in the morning but keep rehearsing. Money is tight. All afternoon, they switch the radio for a minute and then turn it back to static by habit. They hold the muddy glass under the tap for a second and then pull it away before the water can push the mud out. Then they say, "See? It didn't work." The law worked exactly. They just didn't let it finish the exchange. Substitution is not a one-time trick. It is a rhythm until the new song becomes the only song you hear. Let's make this extremely practical. Use the 10-second swap. The moment a fear thought speaks, you have 10 seconds to replace it aloud. Why aloud? Because silence cannot overrule a sentence. Only a stronger sentence can. If the thought says, "I don't know how I'll pay this," answer within 10 seconds. The Christ within shows the way and opens the channel. I am free to receive the right supply now. If the thought says, "Money is tight," answer, "God's wealth circulates in my life with ease and right timing." If the thought says, "There's never enough," answer, "Under divine law, there is always a right provision, at the right time, in the right form." If the thought says, "What if I lose everything?" answer, "There is no loss in divine mind. What is mine by divine right cannot be withheld." The words matter, but the swap matters more. You are not arguing with fear. You are replacing fear. You are changing the station. A child can do this. Picture a classroom where a loud, wrong answer is shouted. The teacher does not keep repeating the wrong answer to make it go away. The teacher says the right answer once, clearly, and writes it on the board. Then the class practices it until it sticks. You are the teacher of your own inner class. Fear will raise its hand and shout. You do not scold it. You do not panic. You state the right answer aloud and write it on your inner board with your voice. Then you practice it. That is substitution. Calm beats volume. Law beats noise. But if I speak truth while the numbers are still the same, am I lying? Number, you are not lying. You are choosing a higher jurisdiction. When a doctor sets a broken bone, he does not describe the break over and over. He places the bone into right alignment so the body can do what it was designed to do. Your sentence sets your inner structure. It does not ignore the bill on the table. It refuses to give the bill the seat of power in your mind. After the structure is set, your actions change naturally. Calls are made without dread. Plans are simple instead of frantic. Options appear you could not see before because panic fog was in your eyes. Substitution clears the fog first, then you walk. Non-resistance is the twin of substitution. You cannot replace fear while fighting fear at the same time. If you clench a fist around a problem, your hand is not open to receive the answer. Non-resistance is not quitting. It is relaxing the chokehold so the answer can be placed in your open hand. You know you are practicing non-resistance. When, after you say the sentence, your shoulders drop and your breath smooths out, keep that softness while you take the next right step. You will find the step is smaller than you feared and closer than you thought. Let me give you an easy substitution routine you can repeat anywhere. Step 1, notice the trigger. Bill, app, price, deadline. Step 2, breathe once. and lower your shoulders. This is the physical sign that you are refusing the chokehold. Step 3. Speak the sentence exactly as given. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Step 4. Add a simple truth that fits the moment, such as, I am guided to my right channel now, or divine order arranges this with ease. Step 5. Act on the next clear nudge, not on the loudest fear. If no nudge arrives yet, you wait in peace and repeat the sentence at the next trigger. That is the routine. Children learn routines because routines are clear. Keep it clear. Here are common fear sentences and clean replacements you can memorize so the swap is fast. I always fall behind becomes, I move in divine rhythm and stay current by law. Money disappears faster than it comes becomes, increase is active in my life. Money returns to me multiplied. I should have more by now becomes, I am divinely compensated in perfect ways. My timeline is redeemed. I never get a break becomes, unexpected good arrives on schedule. I welcome prepared provision. People like me don't get ahead becomes, my identity is not lack. I am supplied under grace and without strain. Say them aloud. Write one on a card. Put it in your pocket. When fear tries to use your mouth to publish itself, you interrupt the print and run the correction. Why do we keep tying this to Scripture? Because law loves witness. The word cast comes from a long line of instructions. Cast your burden on the Lord, and you will be sustained. Cast your care, because you are cared for. Decree a thing, and it will stand. And the pattern of creation is consistent. Let there be light, and there was light. Not a thought, a word. If the Maker created by speech, the image bearer is meant to govern by speech. You are not playing pretend when you speak. You are acting like your source. If you want a child-level picture of Christ within, think of the best guide dog you have ever seen. The dog can lead clearly, but only if the person stops yanking the leash and lets the guide do the job. You've been yanking the leash called money for years. Casting the burden is the decision to let the guide lead. Substitution is you moving the leash from fear's hand to the guide's hand. From that moment, walking is calmer and turns make sense. Gratitude works as a powerful substitute as well, because gratitude and fear cannot occupy the same mental space. When the bill arrives, fear says, "This will sink me." Gratitude says, "I'm thankful I have a way to move this through. I'm thankful supply is already forming." Gratitude does not pay the bill by itself. It removes the inner jam so supply can flow to the bill. Gratitude is not denial. It is alignment with the higher channel. Gratitude is the open window. Fear is the closed shade. Open the window. You may ask, how many times a day must I do this? As many times as fear tries to publish itself. In the beginning, that may be often. You are retraining a very talkative mind. Do not be upset about the repetitions. Be grateful you notice them. Every substitution is a small victory that builds a big change. If you substitute in the morning and then forget, and the old words spill out at noon, do not scold yourself. You simply swap again at 12:01. You will become faster. You will become steadier. One day you will notice the old sentence rising and dropping away before it reaches your lips. That is the day the radio stays on the right station, even when you drive through a tunnel. Now we will bring the law down to the exact moment the world calls reality. You walk up to the cashier. You feel a squeeze in your chest. Old words try to jump. This will drain me. Substitution steps in. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. I bless this exchange. My supply circulates and returns multiplied. You pay in peace. That peace is not nothing. It is the sign the chokehold is gone. The same exchange tomorrow feels lighter. Within a week, you notice you stopped opening your banking app 12 times a day. Within a month, you notice a small stream of income you kept walking past because fear told you it was not real. Now you see it. You step into it without drama. That is how law looks, ordinary steps without the old shake. Let's answer a clever objection. If this is law, why do I sometimes feel worse right after I speak? Because some mud loosens before it leaves the glass. When you first run clear water, the glass can look muddier for a moment as the settled dirt rises. Do not stop the tap. Keep the sentence flowing, the water wins. In the same way, old fear may lift to the surface after you speak. That is not a failure. That is fear losing its hiding place. Keep speaking until it has nowhere to sit. You are not trying to be brave by yourself. You are agreeing with a structure that is already built into the universe. You are not begging a busy God to notice you. You are agreeing with the God within design that never forgot you. That is why the sentence is so steady. It is not a new rule. It is the ancient rule applied to your next purchase, your next call, your next step today. Let's close this part with a mini drill you can practice with a child. Take 3 coins. On the first coin, quietly think the fear sentence you usually say. Notice how your chest feels. On the second coin, say nothing. Notice the small wobble of silence. On the third, coin. Speak the substitution aloud. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Notice the shift. Your body will tell you which coin carries peace. Peace is your green light. Do this once and you will understand. Do this daily and you will change. In the next part, we will take the one sentence apart like a watchmaker piece by piece. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. So your mind knows exactly what each piece does, and your mouth can speak it with the clean confidence of a person who carries keys. We are going to open the sentence like a watch and look at every gear. When you know what each part does, you stop using it like a lucky charm and start using it like a tool you trust. The sentence again, slowly and clearly. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Think of it as 7 moves that happen in one smooth motion. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. I cast. This is a decision word. It is not soft. It is not I wish, I hope, or I'll try. To cast is to pick something up and put it where it belongs. Picture a child holding a hot potato. The child does not keep it and talk about the heat. The child drops it into the right bowl. When you say, I cast, you stop hugging the problem. You take hold of it for one purpose only, to move it out of your arms. The tone matters. Say it like you mean it. A door does not open for a whisper that doubts itself. It opens for a hand that turns the knob. Casting is the hand on the knob. This burden. You must name the weight. Not every heavy feeling is the same. Today the burden might be rent. Tomorrow it might be a late invoice, a fee, or the sinking feeling when you tap your card. This burden means the one in front of you right now, not the whole history of your life. That keeps the act clean. If you try to carry every old fear and every old bill in one armful, you will feel crushed. Handle the next stone, not the whole mountain. A child learns to clean a room one toy at a time. You learn to clear your mind one burden at a time. Be specific in your heart, even if the words are simple. As you say, this burden, Picture the exact thing that is trying to sit on your chest, of lack. This label is important because it tells the truth about the nature of the burden. Lack is not your identity. It is a wrong report. It is a fog, not a fact about who you are. When you tag the weight of lack, you refuse to call it mine. Never call fear and shortage my anything. Do not say my debt, my poverty to my problem. You do not own it. You are dealing with it. Use of lack like a bright sticker that says, "This does not belong to me by divine right." Children understand stickers. If you put a red sticker on the box goes to returns, not to your bedroom. On the Christ within. This is the transfer point. If casting is your hand letting go, the Christ within is the strong, safe place that catches and dissolves the weight. Do not picture a far sky. Picture the inner room where divine wisdom lives. The Christ within is the God mind in you, the calm guide that sees 10 streets ahead while you see one corner. When you place the burden there, you are not dodging responsibility. You are honoring design. Your design is to command and walk. The inner Christ design is to carry and work out the details. If a 10-year-old hears this, say it this way. There is a wise helper inside you who knows how to fix knots you cannot see. Hand the knot to the helper so your fingers stop getting tighter and sorer. That is not laziness. That is working with the one who knows. And I go free. This is the proof that the transfer happened. Freedom is the test. If you speak the sentence and keep clutching the worry, you didn't cast. You just described. Freedom shows up first in your body. Your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, your face softens. Then it shows up in your choices. You stop clicking the app 10 times. You stop staring at the number like it can bite you. You do the next right task without the old shake in your hands. Say, I go free as an action, not a wish. You are stepping out of a tight shirt. You're loosening a belt that was never your size. Sometimes a child will ask, how do I know if I went free? Answer, you feel like you took a backpack off. That feeling is not fake. It is law doing its first work, unsticking your inner gears so movement can return. To receive. This is posture. It is the opposite of grabbing. If you beg the air, your hands close. If you receive, your hands open. Receiving is not waiting passively. It is standing where the lane is clear. It means you are alert to ideas, people, and steps that match the release you just spoke. Receiving also means you stop arguing when good appears in a form you didn't predict. If a discount arrives instead of a dollar bill, that is supply. If a clear idea saves you 3 costly mistakes, that is supply. If the right person calls with a bridge job, that is supply. A child can understand this. Sometimes the cookie you asked for looks like warm bread first, and then the cookie comes while you are eating happily. Do not throw the bread because it isn't a cookie. Receive what serves the good now. Unlimited supply. This does not mean nonsense. It does not mean grabbing everything. It does not mean more. It means you are never cut off from the right channel at the right time for the right need. Unlimited means the source is not small and the ways the source can move are not small. Limit sits in fear like a wall. Supply moves like water around the wall. When you say unlimited, you announce that your good is not trapped in one paycheck, one client, one plan, one family pattern, or one headline. You allow law to choose the cleanest path. If you are 10, imagine a city with many pipes carrying clean water. One pipe can be blocked, but the water company has 1,000 routes. Unlimited supply means the water company has more routes than you can see with your eyes. Now, let's put the pieces together in slow motion so you feel the sequence. Step 1, you notice the squeeze. Step 2, you speak. I cast, which is you taking the hot potato to move it. Step 3, you point to this burden, the exact thing, not everything. Step 4, you tag it of lack, so it loses its false name tag of mine. Step 5, you place it on the Christ within, the inner shop where repairs happen and paths open. Step 6, you step out, I go free, and your body shows signs of release. Step 7, you stand like a person at an open door, to receive, not hunting, just ready. Step 8, you allow unlimited supply, which means you stop telling the source how it must arrive. 8 moves, 1 sentence, 1 rhythm. Because you are learning to use this like a craftsperson, here are simple checks to keep the tool sharp. Casting check. Did I say it with authority or with a sigh? If it was a sigh, say it again with a full breath and a clean voice. Burden check. Do I know what this is right now? If it's fuzzy, name it in your heart. Label check. Did I call it lack or did I call it my problem? Fix the label. Transfer check. Did I actually put it on the Christ within or am I still turning it over in my hands? If you're still turning it over, touch your chest lightly with your palm as you say the line again. This physical cue helps your mind complete the handoff. Freedom check. Did anything in my body relax? If not, breathe once and repeat slowly. Reception check. Do I look and listen for the next right step, or am I trying to force 3 steps at once? Unlimited check. Am I arguing with the form my help arrives in? If you are, smile and say, I accept the right form in the right timing under grace. Let's simplify even more with pictures a child likes. Casting is putting the heavy book back on the shelf where it belongs. The Christ within is the shelf. Freedom is walking without the book pressing your chest. Receiving is holding your hands out for the pencil you need. Unlimited supply is the full pencil jar, not one tiny stub. The more you practice, the smoother this feels. Soon you will say the whole sentence in the time it takes to take a single calm breath. There's also a rhythm hidden inside the words that trained students have used for a century. Try it like this. On the inhale, I cast this burden of lack. On the exhale, on the Christ within. Inhale, and I go free. Exhale, to receive unlimited supply. Do not turn it into a ceremony. Use it as a gentle metronome when you are nervous. The breath gives your body something clean to do, while your word sets the law in motion. Children do well with rhythm, so do adults who are new to courage. Now, 3 common mistakes in the clean fixes. Mistake 1, treating Christ within like a far judge you have to impress. Clean fix. Remember, this is the indwelling presence, the quiet wisdom installed by your Maker, closer than breath. You are not sending paperwork to a distant office. You are handing it to the manager in the same room. Mistake 2, saying, I go free, but staying to argue with the bill in your mind for an hour. Clean fix. After you speak, do one small, tidy action. File the paper, set a reminder, send a clear email, and then walk away. You just proved to yourself you moved from panic to order. Mistake 3, blocking unlimited supply by demanding one route only. Clean fix. Add a short permission line after the sentence. I welcome the right channel in the right way, and mean it. Because we honor Florence's precision, let's attach the phrase under grace in perfect ways to your understanding of unlimited supply. Under grace means no harm, no strain, no cost to your peace. Perfect ways means the form suits your purpose and timing, not your fear's deadline. If something looks big but steals your peace, It is not your channel. If something looks small but arrives with clarity and order, do not despise it. It is part of your stream. One more child-level picture to lock this in. Imagine you are mailing a letter. Casting is sealing the envelope. This burden is writing the right address on it. Of lack is stamping it, return to sender if wrong. On the Christ within is dropping it in the right mailbox. I go free is walking away from the box, not standing there all day. To receive is checking your own mailbox calmly at the right time. Unlimited supply is knowing the postal system has many trucks and many roads. You do not chase the truck, and you do not run into traffic. You let the system do what it does while you live your day. Use the sentence now on a small thing so your mind sees proof. Before you open your banking app, pause and say it once, evenly. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breath. Then open the app. Whatever the number is, keep your posture. Say the sentence again after. Not to change a number by magic, but to keep your inner weather clear so the next step is clean. Do the same before you press pay on a bill. Do the same as you walk into a store. Do the same when someone mentions money in a way that used to make you shrink. These are the tiny hinges that swing big doors. We will move next into spoken word versus silent belief and why visualization is the blueprint, but speech lays the brick. For now, write the sentence on a small card and carry it where you can touch it. Each time fear tries to borrow your mouth, let your fingers find the card and let your mouth find the law. You are not pretending. You are practicing jurisdiction. And each time you practice, the gears in this watch click smoother, and time, your timing with supply, begins to keep steady, beautiful rhythm. Here is the hard truth, wrapped in love, a belief that never leaves your lips, never leaves your life. A quiet hope can comfort you, but it cannot command your day. Think of a seed locked in a drawer. It is alive, but it will never become a tree there. Your belief is the seed. Your spoken word is the planting. Until you say it, nothing has been planted. That is why people can read 10 books about abundance, journal for months, and still feel stuck when the bill arrives. Their faith is silent, and silence does not build. Sound does. Creation itself teaches this. The pattern was not, let there be thoughts. The pattern was, let there be light. And there was light. In plain words, a child can understand. The world did not appear because someone daydreamed it. It appeared because someone spoke to it. If the maker used speech to shape matter, the image bearer is meant to use speech to shape days. Thoughts conceive. Faith receives. Words create. That is the ladder. Skip the last rung and you never reach the floor where life happens. Let's make this simple enough for a 10-year-old. Imagine you are hungry and you think about pizza for an hour. You even draw the pizza. You can smell it in your imagination, but you never place the order. Will the doorbell ring? Number visualization is the drawing. Declaration is the phone call that sends the order. You can keep drawing better pizzas, but until you speak to the shop, there is nothing to bake. Adults do the same thing with money. They picture freedom. They make vision boards. They write lovely lines in a notebook, and then when they open their mouth at the checkout line, they say, "This will wipe me out," and wonder why the day keeps obeying that sentence. The shop is listening to the order that actually went in. Blueprint versus brick is the cleanest picture I can give you. Visualization is the blueprint. It is good. Never throw it away. But blueprints do not hold up a roof. Bricks do. Spoken words are the bricks, and every decree you speak is another brick laid in the wall of your new life. A house is fastest when the architect and the mason work together. See it, then say it. Picture the calm, then command the calm. Think in silence, but finish with speech. If you stop at the picture, you own a folder, not a house. Do I have to shout? Number law does not need your volume. It needs your authority. Speak like a person with keys, not like a person begging through a fence. A steady, clear sentence moves more power than a loud, shaky one. If you worry someone will hear you, step into a quiet room, sit in your car, or speak in a low voice as you walk. Your breath and your sound still register in your body and in your atmosphere. Your cells do not read journals. They respond to vibration. Give them clean sound. Here is the trap that keeps most people circling. They believe in abundance on the inside and then sabotage it with the phrases they say outside. They meditate on God will provide, then tell a friend, I can't afford anything right now. They feel rich for 5 minutes after a video, then stand in front of a shelf and mutter, everything is too expensive. Your life does not obey the feeling you felt alone for 5 minutes. It obeys the sentence you said out loud at the shelf. The tongue sets the weather. If your sentence says storm, do not be surprised when the sky darkens. Let me hand you a tool I want you to use today. Call it the blueprint to brick routine. Step 1. Picture the outcome for 2 breaths. Blueprint. Step 2. Speak one clean decree that matches the picture. Brick. Step 3. Add the law sentence to seal it. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Step 4. Take the next small action that appears without arguing. Example at the bill. Picture the paid account for 2 breaths. Speak. My supply circulates and this clears under grace. Seal it with the law sentence. Then either schedule the payment or send the needed email. That's it. 2 breaths, 1 decree. The sentence, 1 step. Repeat at every point of contact. Children learn instruments with tiny loops. You will learn law the same way. You may say, but I already visualize every morning. Good. Keep the blueprint. Now add the brick all day long. The power of this work is not locked in a single ritual at sunrise. It lives in how you speak at 10 little doorways. When you open your banking app, when you look at a price tag, when an unexpected fee tries to scare you, when you tap your card, when you discuss money with a friend, when you plan a purchase, when you send an invoice, when you consider an opportunity, when you see someone else receive good, when you lay your head down to sleep. At each doorway, your mouth either keeps the house you are building or knocks down a section of wall. 10 doorways, same decree. That is how a day turns. Let's talk about the difference between an affirmation and a decree, so your tool stays sharp. An affirmation comforts and reminds. A decree orders and establishes. I am abundant is fine. It is a warm blanket. Provision arrives in right ways now. I move in divine rhythm is a decree. It is a blueprint turned into brick. I hope money improves is a wish. Channels open to me now under grace is a command. The book says, decree a thing and it shall be established. Established means bricks were laid. You can rest on an established wall. You fall through a wish. But what if I feel fake when I speak? Feeling is not the judge. Law is. Pilots land planes with trembling hands sometimes. The runway still holds because the runway is built. Speak the sentence anyway. The fake feeling is only your nervous system noticing change. Keep speaking until the new groove becomes the familiar road. One day, the words that felt strange will feel like your own name, and fear will be the tone that feels foreign. That is when you know the wall is high and the roof is steady. Here's a child-level drill that proves the body listens. Take 3 steps forward in a quiet room. Step 1. Think, I'm calm about money, but say nothing. Notice your chest. Step 2. Whisper, I'm calm about money. Notice the small shift. Step 3. Say in a clear, normal voice, I am calm about money because I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I move free with supply. Notice how the body changes most on step 3. The body responds to sound. This is why songs stick. This is why a coach calls time out and speaks, not waves. This is why you must give your own body a coach. You may worry, if I talk like this, am I ignoring facts? Number, you are assigning facts to their right place and assigning truth to its throne. A thermometer tells you the temperature. A thermostat sets it. Most people act like thermometers. They report numbers and call that wisdom. You are going to act like a thermostat. You set the inner climate so the numbers can change without wrecking your peace. After you speak, you still look at the budget. You still send the invoice. You still decline a poor fit. You simply do it without the chokehold. That is what makes your choices suddenly clean and your timing suddenly good. Let's cut 3 common excuses at the root. Excuse 1. I don't have time to keep saying things. You had time to worry 12 times. You have time to decree 3 times. Replace 4 worries with 2 clean sentences and watch the day change. Excuse 2. I don't want to be weird in public. Step into a restroom, speak in your car, or say it low as you walk. You are not performing. You are governing. Excuse 3. I tried it once and nothing happened. A seed planted at noon is not a tree by sunset. Keep planting. Keep watering. Rhythm is how life grows. Now here's a compact say-so protocol you can memorize. When fear tries to publish itself, you have 7 seconds to say so. Not think so, say so. Use one of these clean openings. By divine law, under grace, but, or I now decree. Then finish the line in plain words. The right provision appears in right ways. Or, this payment moves through without strain, or the perfect channel opens and I recognize it. Then seal with the core sentence, short, clear, spoken. The protocol is not for drama, it is for order. I want you to mark 3 micro rituals for the rest of the week so the bricklaying becomes automatic. First, the threshold rule. Every time you cross a doorway into a place where money is handled, store, office, bank app, touch the door frame or phone edge and say the sentence once calmly. Second, the receipt blessing. When a receipt appears, paper or digital, say, I bless this circulation. All that goes returns multiplied under grace. Third, the night lock. Before sleep, speak the sentence once to lock your house from worry the way you lock your door from wind. Children understand locks. Your mind does too. Finally, remember this. It is not the world's job to stop scaring you before you speak. It is your job to speak so the world stops scaring you. The ocean did not calm first, and then Jesus spoke. He spoke, and the ocean remembered who it was dealing with. Your bills will not shrink first, and then you find your voice. You find your voice, and your bills stop dictating your mood. Silent belief is a good friend. Keep it. Spoken word is the captain. Put it at the wheel. In the next part, we will show you what this looks like in motion, real demonstration. And we will set up a simple mental reprogramming plan so that the old fear lines lose their power, your new sentences become automatic, and your days begin to carry the quiet proof you have been waiting for. For now, keep the order. See it for 2 breaths. Say it once with authority. Seal it with the law sentence and take the next clean step. Blueprint, brick, build. I will not leave you with ideas. I will show you how this looks when a regular person lives it for 1 week. And then I will hand you a simple reprogramming plan that even a 10-year-old could follow. Keep your attention on 2 things only. Speak the law at the doorways of your day and replace fear sentences within 10 seconds. When you do that, channels appear, not because you forced them, but because you stopped blocking them. Meet Aaron. He is 32, works customer support at a small tech company, and picks up food deliveries 3 nights a week to cover a car payment that jumped when his rate changed. 2 months ago, his power bill spiked, his old laptop died, and his overtime was cut. He started waking up at 3 a.m. with his heart racing. He was not reckless. He was careful to the point of tight. He tracked every expense, checked his banking app 12 times a day, and still felt the floor move. Aaron found this teaching on a Sunday night and wrote the sentence on a sticky note. On Monday morning, before he touched his phone, he said calmly, "I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply." He did not feel fireworks. He felt his shoulders lower a little. He considered that a win and went to work. At 10:15 a.m., a customer message came in with a harsh tone. Old Aaron would have let the dread spiral through his body and then opened his banking app to feel worse. New Aaron practiced substitution. He breathed once, whispered the sentence, and then answered the message. The customer calmed, and the issue resolved in 3 minutes. At lunch, Aaron saw his power bill email. He felt the squeeze. He did not click it first. He said the sentence first. Then he opened it and saw a new line he had never noticed: payment arrangement options. He clicked, read, and chose a plan that removed the immediate choke. He paid the first piece, blessed the circulation allowed, and went back to work without the old fog. Nothing mystical, pure order. On Tuesday, while driving to his delivery shift, he nearly skipped a small gas station because he always chased the big brand next to the freeway. A quiet inner nudge said, "Turn here." He said the sentence at the pump out of habit, walked in to grab a receipt, and saw a bright sign: "Apply in person for weekend event staffing. Immediate pay." He asked 3 questions, filled a 1-page form, and was told to show up Friday night for 4 hours of check-in work that paid the same as 6 hours of food delivery. He did not call this a miracle. He called it a channel. He spoke the sentence again in the car, not to make more, but to seal his calm. On Wednesday, he opened his banking app at noon and felt the old habit stretching its fingers. He used the blueprint to brick routine from part 4. 2 breaths of a clear account, 1 decree. Under grace, this clears in right order. The core sentence, then 1 step. The step was not glamorous. He canceled 2 subscriptions he no longer used, which freed the exact amount of a fee that had been hitting him each month. He was slightly embarrassed he had missed it. He let the embarrassment pass like a cloud, and he said, "Thank you that I see cleanly." Gratitude is substitution. Fear and thanks cannot sit in the same chair. On Thursday, a friend texted, "Want my old monitor? Upgraded today." Old Aaron would have said, "Maybe later," and then spent a week researching monitors he could not afford, while his neck hurt from looking at a tiny screen. New Aaron said, "Yes, thank you," and blessed the gift aloud when he picked it up. That gift did not put money in his hand, but it raised the quality of his work hours, which is how supply thinks. It clears friction that steals time and energy. He spoke the sentence when he set it up and felt like he had opened a window. On Friday afternoon, the tech company sent a surprise note. Overtime allowed for the next 2 weeks on a simple ticket project. Old Aaron would have rushed to stack hours from fear and crashed. New Aaron said the sentence, asked for the right number, and took a clean 6 hours across 2 evenings. That night, he went to the event staffing job, checked in guests with a calm voice, and the coordinator asked if he could cover Saturday afternoon because someone canceled. He agreed. He did not call his cousin to brag about the turnaround. He simply kept the rhythm. Decree at the doorway, swap within 10 seconds, then the next right step. By Sunday night, he had not received a giant check, but he had a relief plan on his bill, a paid monitor in his house, 2 event shifts, moderate overtime on the calendar, 3 tiny leaks fixed, and bigger than all of it, a body that had slept through the night 3 days in a row. The atmosphere obeyed his mouth. Understand me, the law is not impressed by your panic schedule. It respects your spoken order. Aaron did not buy peace. He picked it up by speaking release and refusing to rehearse lack. He did not chase money. He made room for supply to circulate. That is demonstration. It often looks ordinary because order is ordinary and fear had convinced you that only shock counts. I want your normal to be steady, not dramatic. Now we build the mental program that keeps this steady. I will give you a plan simple enough for a child, strong enough for a parent, and short enough that you will actually use it. Think of your mind as a path in a field. The more you walk one path, the easier it is to follow it without thinking. Right now, the fear path is well worn. We are going to wear a new path with words. The tool is repetition, but not mindless repetition. This is lawful repetition, short, clear, rhythmic, at the exact points where you used to panic. You will not count hours. You will count doorways and swaps. Morning. Primer takes less than 3 minutes. Before your feet touch the floor, say the core sentence once, not quickly, but cleanly. Then speak one decree that matches your day. I move in divine rhythm and stay current by law. Or channels open in right ways and I recognize them. Or I bless every exchange. Supply circulates and returns, multiplied under grace. You can rotate them. Do not try to be creative. Be consistent. Finish the primer by blessing your phone out loud. This device is a door for order, not a window for fear. It sounds small. It disarms the app-checking reflex. Point of contact micro loop is what you run each time money is touched. 4 steps. 2 breaths of the result you intend. 1 line of decree that names it. The core sentence to seal, and 1 next right action. Example in the store. 2 breaths seeing yourself pay with peace. This clears in perfect ways, the core sentence. Then you choose the item or you wait, but you do it without the old tight throat. Example at the invoice. 2 breaths seeing it paid. This is honored in right timing, the core sentence. Then you send it with a steady tone. Do not pile 6 steps. 2 breaths, 1 decree. The sentence, 1 step. 10-second swap is your emergency brake. When a fear sentence fires, you have 10 seconds to replace it aloud. This is not a debate with fear. This is substitution. If the line was, I always fall behind, your swap is, I move in divine rhythm and stay current by law. If the line was, this will drain me, your swap is, this circulation returns multiplied. I am supplied under grace. If the line was, what if it all falls apart? Your swap is, there is no loss in divine mind. What is mine by divine right cannot be withheld. Keep 3 swaps on a card so you do not reach for words in the heat. Children carry lunch cards. You can carry a swap card. Nightlock is how you sleep. Before your head hits the pillow, say the sentence once. Then speak 1 gratitude, not for theatrics, for alignment. Thank you for the calm I felt at noon, or thank you that I saw the option, or thank you for the call that arrived. Gratitude cements the new path while you sleep. Fear loves to rehearse at midnight. The lock keeps it from pacing in your hallway. If you wake at 3 a.m., do not scroll. Whisper the sentence, breathe twice, and put your hand on your chest for a moment as a physical sign that the burden is not in your hands. Go back to sleep like a house with a door closed. To help you measure, use a simple score that a child could understand. At breakfast and before bed, rate your money weather from 0 to 10. Not the numbers in your account, but the calm in your body. Your goal is not to force a 10. Your goal is to watch the average rise as your mouth takes its proper job. If you want proof, write one line each evening. Where did I speak first today? You will start to enjoy collecting small wins. I spoke before I tapped my card. I swapped within 10 seconds after the late fee notice. I blessed the receipt. I said no to a bad fit without panic. I accepted a small channel without despising it. These are not little. These are bricks. Bricks hold roofs. Let me show you a second mini demonstration so your mind does not turn Aaron into a lucky exception. Maya is 27, studies part-time, and works mornings at a bakery. She carries the story. In my family, we always hustle and still come up short. Her fear sentence is, it's never enough. She builds the same plan, morning primer, micro loops, 10-second swaps, night lock. On day 3, a regular customer asks if she can help style 2 product photos a week for an online shop. She almost says, I'm not really a photographer, but she hears the old story trying to borrow her mouth, swaps it with I am guided to right channels, and simply asks, what do you need and when do you want to start? The customer explains that it is not camera work. It is arranging pastries with simple lighting, and the shop pays weekly. 2 hours later, the bakery owner offers Maya a steady schedule that supports her classes because she has become a calm presence at the counter. She stops making mistakes when money talk is in the air. Nothing glamorous, pure order and a little more circulation. Her numbers improve, but the deeper win is that her throat no longer tightens when the kitchen mentions costs. That is law in the body. If during your week you feel silly speaking out loud, remember that your body hears you. Your nervous system responds to your voice like a set of runners hearing a starter's pistol. You are training it to start on the sound of law, not on the sound of fear. If during your week you feel a surge of panic after you speak, remember the muddy glass from part 2. Some mud rises before it leaves. Do not yank the glass away from the tap. Keep the sentence running. If you forget for half a day and catch yourself rehearsing lack, do not call the day ruined. Swap the sentence at the next doorway and continue. Guilt is just another way fear tries to keep the microphone. You are the one holding the microphone now. I also want you to separate result from proof. A refund is a result. A wise no is proof. A waived fee is a result. Sleeping through the night is proof. An offer is a result. The boldness to ask one clean question is proof. Do not throw away proof because it did not arrive wrapped as cash. Proof is the scaffolding that lets results stack without crashing you. Law builds from the inside out because that is the only way the outer can stay. Finally, we will tighten the screws on self-sabotage. When good appears, the old program may whisper, "You don't deserve this," or "This is too easy," or "It won't last." These are not honest thoughts. They are old doormen who forgot they were fired. Use the 10-second swap. Speak, "I receive under grace in perfect ways," and then do the next ordinary action that says yes. Open the email, put the date on the calendar, send the invoice. Answer without shrinking. The soul learns by what your mouth says first and by what your hands do next. You now have a working picture of demonstration and a plan to rewrite your inner path with sound. You will notice, as Aaron and Maya did, that money begins to behave when you stop speaking like a hostage. That does not make you careless. It makes you clear. In the next part, we will lay down the 7-day sentence practice as a covenant, show you how to keep speaking when resistance rises, and align your method with the master's pattern so your decree carries the weight of authority rather than the wobble of hope. For tonight, run the night lock. Sleep like a person who handed the buckets to the strong friend and wake ready to speak at the doorways. The atmosphere is listening, and it keeps the appointments you set with your mouth. This is where we stop admiring the key and start using it every day until the door stays open. You are not here to become a collector of phrases. You are here to become a lawful speaker whose words carry weight. The promise is simple enough for a child and strong enough for a builder. Follow a 7-day rhythm, speak during resistance instead of waiting for calm. Model your method after the master who created with command, and then seal your new identity in public so your mind has no path back to the old door. We are not adding pressure, we are installing order. Order is kinder than effort. Order is faster than worry. Order is how law moves when it finally has your voice. Let us set the covenant. For 7 days, you will do 4 things without drama. You will speak the sentence at the doorways of your day. You will replace fear within 10 seconds whenever it tries to publish itself. You will keep your actions small and clean after you speak. And you will bless circulation so your heart learns that money is not leaving you. It is moving through you and returning multiplied under grace. Your tools are already in your hand. The core sentence, the blueprint to brick routine, the 10-second swap, and the night lock. Now we place them on a calendar so your nervous system learns the new rhythm like a favorite song. Day 1 is initiation. Treat today like turning on a light in a room that has been dim for too long. Before your feet touch the floor, say, I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Do not rush the words. Let your shoulders lower on go free. At every threshold where money is handled, a store entry, a banking app, a payment page, touch the door frame or the phone edge with one finger and say the sentence once. That touch is your cue. Your body loves cues. When a receipt appears, whisper, I bless this circulation. All that goes returns multiplied under grace. Before you sleep, run the night lock. The sentence once, plus one short thank you for any moment of peace you noticed. Law loves simple, repeatable motions. You are not performing. You are setting a metronome. Day 2 is resistance. Expect the ego to protest. You may hear, this is silly, or it's not working, or you're just saying words. Good. That is the old program running its last scheduled messages. Do not debate it. Substitution is not a debate. It is a replacement. Use the 10-second swap. When the old line fires, money is tight. This will drain me. I never catch up. Replace it aloud within 10 seconds. God's wealth circulates in my life with ease and right timing. Or, this circulation returns multiplied under grace. Or, I move in divine rhythm and stay current by law. Then keep moving. Think of a muddy glass under a running tap. When clean water first flows, the mud stirs. Do not pull the glass away just because the water looks worse for a moment. Let the tap run. The clean will win. Day 3 is first evidence. Do not demand fireworks. Look for ordinary proof that the chokehold is loosening. You might sleep through the night. A small fee might be waived. A friend might offer a helpful tool. A clear idea might save you a costly mistake. A tiny channel may appear that you used to ignore because fear told you small was not real. Treat each as valid evidence that the inner weather has changed. Seal each piece with the sentence so your mind associates calm with movement. Ordinary order is how law likes to show off. Steady is its favorite miracle. Day 4 is anchoring. Today the sentence begins to rise to your lips before you think to say it. That is a good sign. It means the new path is wearing in. When you open your app, you speak first. When you see a price, you speak first. When someone else mentions money with tension in their voice, you speak inside and keep your face calm. If you catch yourself trying to force 3 steps at once, pause and breathe once. Then take 1 step only: the email, the reminder, the call, the decline. Clean steps are easier to repeat than dramatic leaps. Under grace and imperfect ways becomes your filter. No strain, no self-harm, no chaos dressed as opportunity. Day 5 is acceleration. Confidence arrives not as noise, but as steadiness. You will notice yourself asking one clear question where you used to talk in circles. You will accept a simple channel where you used to hold out for a flashy one. You will say no without panic and yes without guilt. Your words start to sound like a person with keys. Keep the rhythm small and exact. At each doorway, 2 breaths of the outcome, 1 decree that names it, the core sentence to seal, 1 right action. Resist the urge to count results like a gambler, collect proofs like a builder. Fewer app checks, a calmer checkout, an email sent without dread, a clear no that saved you money, a yes that saved you time, a gift received without shrinking. These are bricks, and bricks hold roofs. Day 6 is overflow. This is where circulation becomes visible. Discounts appear, timing aligns, a return you had forgotten about lands, someone honors an invoice. A no you made yesterday frees a yes today that actually suits you. Overflow also shows up as clarity. You see through a glittery offer and decline it peacefully, saving yourself weeks of stress. Say the sentence when overflow appears and when you choose peace over panic. Both are forms of supply. The body learns by repetition. Calm when paying, calm when receiving, calm when waiting, calm when deciding. Calm is not passivity. Calm is authority without the wobble. Day 7 is seal. Speak the sentence in the morning not as a ritual you must remember, but as a name you answer to. Today you do something public and simple to anchor the identity. You write the sentence in a comment, you put it on a card by your screen, you tell one trusted friend, "This is how I speak now." Public witness is not for show. It is how your mind understands there is no quiet door back to the old house. End the day by reviewing the week for proof, not for judgment. Where did you speak first? What channels appeared? What tiny leaks were closed? What ordinary action became easy? Where did sleep return? Let gratitude have the last line before bed. Not because gratitude pays the bill, but because gratitude keeps the window open so supply can enter the room without hitting a shade you forgot was down. Now let us speak about resistance the way a pilot speaks about wind. Wind is not the enemy. It is a condition you are trained to handle. Do not wait for the storm to stop before you use your voice. Your voice is the calmer. The story is old and the pattern is clear. A boat in hard water, a command issued, and the sea obeying. Peace, be still. A friend sealed in a tomb, a command issued, and what was bound returned. Come forth. A man paralyzed by years of waiting, a command issued, and he rose. Take up your bed and walk. The point is not theatrics, the point is method. The master did not negotiate with appearances, he addressed them. He did not stage a visualization session at the lake, He spoke to the storm. He did not file a report at the tomb. He called to life. He said plainly that the words he spoke were not from ego, but from the indwelling Father who did the work. That is the pattern you are copying each time you decree in the face of fear. You speak. The Father within works. The outer falls in line. If you want a child's version, the grown-up in the room uses words that settle chaos because calm authority is louder than noise. To make speaking in the storm easy, keep a compact protocol when pressure spikes. Use 3 breaths and 2 lines. Breath 1. Unclench your jaw and drop your shoulders. Breath 2. Place your palm lightly on your chest so your body knows the burden is not in your hands. Breath 3. Look at one point in front of you so your eyes stop darting. Then say, by divine law, I move free in supply. This clears in right order. Follow with the core sentence. Then take one small action. Schedule the payment. Send the simple reply. Step away from the cart or accept the clean help offered. If more panic rises, run the protocol again. You are not trying to feel heroic. You are proving you can speak while the wind blows. Speak in the wind often enough, and your body will start treating speaking as the natural first step. You may wonder whether speaking boldly is the same as denying reality. It is not. It is assigning reality to the right seat. Facts are guests. Truth is the head of the table. A fact might say, this bill is due. Truth says, I am supplied under grace in perfect ways. The guest is not thrown out. The guest is seated properly and served in order. After you speak, you still take your seat at the table like a calm host and do the next piece of work. The tone of your work changes everything. Emails lose their tremble, choices lose their hurry, and the day stops feeling like it is chasing you down the hall. I will protect you from 2 subtle traps that visit on day 7. Trap 1 says, now that you had a good week, stop talking and see if it sticks. That is like turning off the lighthouse to check whether ships still avoid the rocks. Keep the light on. Trap 2 says, if you speak in public, people will judge you. Do not perform for anyone, but do witness for yourself. Writing the sentence once in public is a line in the concrete. It keeps your inner foot from sliding when the old habit tries to pull you back. You are not convincing strangers. You are confirming structure. Now seal your identity with a final decree set that reads like a verdict, not a wish. Do not chant. Speak at once clearly, like a person who owns keys. Say, I do not chase money. I command circulation by law and bless what moves through my hands. I cast burdens fast and walk light. I speak before I act, so my actions are clean. I receive under grace in perfect ways. I am never cut off from right channels. My spoken word is the wealth and the visible money is the echo. Take one breath and then speak the core sentence with full clarity. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Let your face soften, let your shoulders drop, and let the sentence sit in the room like a settled decision. If you felt a shift while reading, do not leave it as a private moment that fades by dinner. Anchor it where it can hold. Comment the decree to seal it. I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to receive unlimited supply. Writing it once is not about engagement, it is about jurisdiction. It is the same act as writing your name on a contract you actually intend to honor. Then keep your 7-day rhythm. Keep speaking at thresholds. Keep swapping within 10 seconds. Keep blessing circulation. Keep locking the night. You are not proving anything to anyone. You are training your house to stay lit. Your next financial chapter will not begin with a perfect mood or a perfect plan. It will begin the moment your mouth takes its rightful job and your day starts to obey your decree. Speak like a person with keys. Walk like a person who mailed the heavy letter and left the post box. Live like a person whose source is not nervous. And when tomorrow's first doorway appears, touch it with one finger. Say the sentence once and step through. The atmosphere is listening, and by law, it keeps the appointments your voice sets.